Hello gang, and welcome to Displaying Model Behavior, the Earth's mightiest video podcast. Back once again with the ill behavior and a whole bunch of good news. Before we get to that though, a couple of things actually. Alright, first things first, I'm back in the Marvel Legends reviewing game, and boy, it feels good. However, I can afford to buy these beautiful hunks of plastic, but I can't afford to keep them all. So if you want to buy these from me after I've said my piece about them, then you can do. If you go to the Model Behavior Facebook page, then I'll have them for sale here. Obviously, it's easier if you're in the UK, but if you're in America and you want like a little piece of model behavior history, then I'm happy to ship to America, but you know, it's going to cost a bit of extra money to do that. So yeah, check out the Facebook page to buy my stuff from me. Also, speaking of you doing things for me, it's almost December. So I'm going to launch early the Model Behavior Christmas Special campaign. You guys know what this is. For the 4th year in a row, which is quite crazy, I'm asking you guys to submit videos telling me what your action figure of the year was. So all you need to do is email to the address below a 60-second video, somewhere around there, but not too long. Otherwise, it'll be a gigantic video that I'm putting together. But just say your name, where you're from, and what your action figure of the year was for 2025. And if you can film it in letterbox format, widescreen, landscape, that's the word I was looking for, that would be fantastic, because then we'll be able to see more of you in the YouTube video. And yeah, that's it. Okay, so that, Marvel Legends, I think that's everything covered. So with that being said, there's a whole bunch of news out there, so let's talk about it. Mezco, never one to shy away from a cheeky Christmas re-release of a pre-existing figure, are giving us another bite at the cherry for their Doc Knock Yeti 2-pack, this time under the guise of a Christmas theme which actually looks like a whole lot of fun. This is going up for pre-order today. But of course, here in the UK, today is now, whereas in America, it's still the 27th, so I don't have the pre-order pictures yet, but do you really need them when we've got this awesome stop-motion trailer? I love the redesign that they've done, taking the Shrieking Yeti and turning it into this terrifying-looking Krampus. I love all like mythology behind Christmas that we're not actually that familiar with. We know Father Christmas, we know Mrs. Claus and a few elves, but if you dig real deep, there's some gnarly pagan craziness going on, and I'm here for it. So I'm looking forward to seeing the full reveal of this. I'm sure that the Krampus is going to look really mean. Hopefully a couple of different face sculpts, and they'll all just the tongue and the teeth and the gnashing of jaws. Gonna look really, really cool. So as I said, this is going up for pre-order probably by the time you watch this, and maybe Mezco can get it out in time for Christmas. It'll be a really tight turnaround. But if they had this made ready to go when they were making the Doc Knock 2 packs, then they might have a whole warehouse full of Christmas joy and terror that you can add to your shelf just in time for when the real Kris Kringle comes over. Hopefully without the terrifying looking Krampus in tow. Before I forget, because you know I'm going to, this show is sponsored by Legendsverse, who right now, and for only a couple of days, are having a 20% off sale on their lifetime membership. So you guys know Legendsverse. They're your one-stop shop for all of your action figure cataloging, correlating, and something else needs. The 3 C's, cataloging, correlating, and collaboratizing. Let's go with that. That's not the one, is it? But you can use the site entirely for free and log all of your action figures up to 50. But if you'd like to log more, then you can get a lifetime membership, and now with 20% off as well for the next couple of days. I think until Sunday. That's your deadline, and then it's back to normal. But they have every single toy line you can imagine on there, and then a few more. And don't come at me saying, oh, well, actually, they don't have this one, because chances are they're probably just about to add it. So go check out Legendsverse, enjoy 20% off, click the link in the description below, and that way they'll know that Model Behavior sent you. Mr. Lee, action figure blogger extraordinaire, God bless ya. Recently, they went to a toy expo somewhere in the world. I'm trying to find out where. Hopefully, I'll put that in the description. But they've shared with us some fantastic bits of footage from the Storm Collectibles booth. Mostly, what really catches my eye from the footage is more of the Storm Arena Street Fighter figures. They just look amazing. Akuma looks so badass. We're getting a hint at Rainbow Mika as well. That's a figure that even though I'm not collecting the whole line, I think I could probably find my way to getting a Rainbow Mika, but also Zangief as well. It's such a slippery slope because those figures are so nice. The prototype Balrog looks really great as well. Also over in their larger scale figures, the Storm Collectibles as opposed to Storm Arena, we have their Street Fighter VI M. Bison as well, complete with horse. Again, looks pretty awesome. I do like how they've evolved some of the characters' designs for Street Fighter VI. And the whole lineup for these actually, again, looking at Mr. Lee's video, dang, they look pretty darn impressive. Also, like the older beardy Sash Ryu, he looks great as well. So yeah, some double thumbs up for Storm's showing at this convention. They seem to be putting out their best foot forward right now. InArt Studios have just revealed their Anne Hathaway Catwoman from The Dark Knight Rises 1/12 scale, the good lord scale, and good lord, it looks like a very impressive figure. I mean, it needs to be in order to live up to the lofty standards set by their Christian Bale Batman. When that guy dropped a few months ago, people were going gaga for that figure, and I can see why. I don't really have much connection or really affection for the Christopher Nolan movies. The more time that passes, the more I look upon them with a rather critical eye. But I know there is a big fan base, and now we've got a couple of nice action figures. The question is this a figure that's going to be worth the lofty price point they'll probably be asking? I'm guessing it's going to be around about that $100 mark. Well, it'll be up for pre-order probably by the time you watch this video. And then when you finally get it in hand, you can judge for yourselves. Up for pre-order now is the first wave of McFarlane Marvel Rivals figures. Well, statues. Didn't mean to get your hopes up there for a second. Nope, 0 points of articulation, but some very nice looking sculpts. So these are, of course, ushering in this whole new wave, or series of waves, that McFarlane are going to do for these Marvel Rivals characters. At a Comic-Con a few months ago, we saw on the big screen, they've got a whole slew of these that they're going to be putting out, covering all the major characters. And this is a good start with the two Venoms. Actually, I think there's 3 Venoms, because there's the regular Venom, there's the white anti-Venom one, and then I think there was what was called a Silver Platinum edition. Not sure where you can pick that up, but I'm going to see if I can find out when I'm doing the editing. And then we've got the Hulk as well. I think it's just the one version of the Hulk. I don't know if they're doing a different color, like a gray one maybe. It would be an easy swap for them to do. But at least to get started, we've got these 3 different ones available that I've been able to find. So these are available for pre-order now. And honestly, I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of them, because McFarlane, they seem to have got off to a good start. Folks, the first reviews are in for the SH Figure Arts Gamerverse Cyclops. This one coming courtesy of YouTuber Hot Kenobi, who got his hands on it, and I have to admit, looking at the video, I'm really kind of tempted to do the upgrade of my Cyclops. I've got the Mezco Cyclops. I love him. I love my soft goods. But this just, it lives up to the pictures. And I didn't know if these would, but by the looks of things, seeing it in full motion on the screen, the different poses, I'm really cottoning onto this one because he's so bright as well. I love the bright, bold blue, the wonderful, shocking neon pink of the optic blast. I got a lot of time for this. I've put in my order for Spidey, but maybe I might just have to go all in on this line, because with Wolverine right around the corner as well, I don't know how many they're going to make. I don't know if they're going to do the whole roster or not, but this Cyclops here, yeah, looking at this review from Hot Kenobi, he's totally won me over. I think I might have to part with my money. The Hasbro Tron HasLab has officially not funded. And I'm not going to stand here and be one of those guys who's like, a thing failed. But at the same time, like, I don't think anyone's going to be sobbing into their cereal too much. The moment it was announced, I was like, that's a lot for a little. Because it is. It was a huge price for small figures when I first saw it. I thought it was 1/12 scale. I thought these have got to be 6-inch figures. And then when I saw it was like vintage style, I thought, no, you're having a laugh, mate. You're having a giraffe. You're having a bubble. No one's going to go for that. And that was one wrong thing there. People did go for it. And fair play to you. And I'm disappointed I'm disappointed for you. But also, I'm kind of glad that Hasbro hopefully got a message that, no, you got to give more bang for the buck. Because I saw this in person at London Comic Con, and I was like, it looks nice. The light up features and effects, it's a lovely display piece. But for the price, no, absolutely not. I think they were really, going for it with something as niche as OG 80s Tron. I know there's a big fan base, but not that big. And then when you whittle that down to people who have the available cash for something like this, I think you were ice skating uphill there. So there you go. I'm not reveling in Hasbro failing on this one because I like the HasLab concept. I know that's like not a cool thing to say, but I do, because when they do it well, I love the hype and hoopla around it. But from talking to Dwight from the Marvel Legends team at London Comic Con, it seems like it's a real risky prospect for them doing HasLabs. Just it's very stressful, and it's not something that I think it's not a business model that I think is really proving fruitful for them. So I think this just means that maybe we might not see any more HasLabs for a while. Maybe they're just going to go for the direct market Hasbro Pulse pre-order system, which seems to be working pretty well for them. But for me, I'm personally a little bit sad to see another nail in the coffin of HasLabs, because whether they were good, bad, great, indifferent, or had you screaming with rage, it gave us something to get excited and talk about. And honestly, that's half the fun of collecting. Hired Toys are continuing their exquisite G.I. Joe line with Gung Ho. So Gung Ho, as is always the case with the Hired Toys G.I. Joe figures, they've smooshed them down to 1/18th scale, but they've crammed a lot of detail in there. It's funny, I think on the last video, I said, does anyone collect Hired? Because I don't often get feedback on Hired Toys. And a lot of people said, actually, Dave, yeah, we do. We love them. We just don't bang on about them, but there is a big audience. So shout out to the Hired Toys collectors. So Gung Ho, yeah, he looks really decent. $27 as well. That's a nice price point. I'm okay with that. Granted, of course, he is smaller, but I ain't mad at ya. So this is going to be released around about Q4 of 2026. So you're going to have a bit of a wait for him, but hey, don't worry. I've got a sneaking suspicion there's going to be a lot more action figures to tide us over until then. Okay, how cool is this? InArt Studios Black Myth Wukong stone monkey figure? I didn't see this coming. Popped up on my news feed, and yeah, I kind of dig this. So let's get some more information while we're here, shall we? So yes, from InArt Studios, pre-order's going to be open by the time you see this video by the looks of things. 1/12 scale, and just looks like a cool, badass stone warrior version of the Black Myth Wukong Monkey King. Yeah, just flicking through these pictures here, it looks the business. Actually, dang. My only problem with figures like this, and it's like a small thing, is that because it's a very basic color scheme, there's not too much going on, that it tends to get lost in my display collections. I find that. That's why I like big, bold, popping colors on figures. This has so much itty-bitty little details, they almost get lost unless you get your binoculars out and take a closer look. But honestly, if you do, I think you'll be glad you did, because the work that's gone into this, it looks pretty darn impressive. D1 Studios 1/12 scale Rage Z-Boys Yazai Normal Edition. That was a little bit of sight reading there, because that was a whole big word salad. But what it represents is a very good looking action figure. I love the aesthetic. It's very much reminding me of the artist who does Gorillas and did the Tank Girl comics. I forget their name, but he has a wicked art style, and that's what this really harkens to over here. I love just the lore, or the implication of lore, that these figures have, because they're not based on anything in particular. I don't think. It's just cool artistic designs brought to life in action figure form. But then you've got this kind of visual storytelling of all of the accessories and accoutrements that the character has. You think like, okay, what is this little dude? What's he doing with this rocket axe? What world does he live in? And how can I find out more? The soft goods look real nice as well. Yeah, this... I'm gesturing to the computer that I'm looking at. This is my kind of jam when it comes to action figures. Ringside Collectibles have a couple of defining moments figures up for order now, and both of them, honestly, look great. I'm not a fan of WWE, but I am a fan of the wrestlers who work there. And in this case, both Penta and Cody Rhodes, Yeah, both former AEW alums. There you go. I didn't even put that together until just now. These look nice. Penta, in particular. Zero Miedo. Love that dude. And his whole gimmick and shtick is so wonderfully toyetic. When Jazzwares were making those figures for AEW, those were the standouts. And now we've got these from Mattel for WWE. And again, he just looks the business. I hope he gets well soon. Dislocated his shoulder on Raw. Oof, nasty business. And then there's Cody Rhodes. And this one I particularly like, especially just like American Nightmare. I'm a big fan of that guy. But he has the Winged Eagle belt, which he wore for Saturday night's main event, which is just the most wonderful bit of nostalgia. At first, when I saw that the figure came with the Winged Eagle, I was like, why is that a thing? And then I saw the synopsis on the back of the box and I was like, that was the one. Because, of course, I don't watch WWE. So I was like, why are they doing that? But yeah, as a little throwback gimmick, man, he looks good with that belt. Definitely still one of the most iconic heavyweight championship designs. So as I was saying, both of these are available now at Ringside Collectibles. It's time now for Anime Corner. SH Figure Arts coming out with a couple of new Dragon Ball Z figures. Let's take a little look at this. So this is the SH Figure Arts Super Saiyan God Goku brackets God Aura. To be fair, with hair like that, that does give me a little bit of a God Aura type of vibe there. This dude's going to be releasing around about June of next year. Pre-orders go open December 5th. And also, sticking with the Dragon Ball Z characters, we're getting the Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan Son Goku Blue Power Transcending Limits. That's also kind of cool. So similar to the previous one, this is going to be released around about July of next year. And yeah, if you're a Dragon Ball Z fan, then these are probably quite exciting for you. For someone who never grew up with Dragon Ball, I'm like, nope, I got nothing. But they do look kind of fun. One thing that I do know a thing or two about, though, is Berserk. And SH Figure Arts are going to give us a new Griffith figure. I got the original one with him on the horse, and it was okay. Their Berserk line got off to a rough, shaky start, but now they really are finding their stride with these figures. This looks like a worthwhile update for Griffith, but also it's like a slightly different era of the character, so you could justify having the two if you want to do a bit of a timeline kind of thing. And for Berserk, that's a heck of a timeline. A lot happens in that manga. So this is Griffith, the Band of the Hawk. So this is great because then he goes with Band of the Hawk, Guts, and Casca as well. And similar to the other anime figures, Dragon Ball, this is going to be releasing around about July of next year. And yeah, actually, while I'm here, just having a look at some of these pictures, yeah, the work that they've done with the armor, kind of like the way it tessellates together, yeah, that's a good-looking Griffith. This looks much better than the original effort from a couple of years ago. And finally, for the anime figures from SH Figure Arts, we're getting Naruto Uzumaki, the power to unite. Uniting toy collectors around the world, I imagine. Again, never seen Naruto, but I know that the fan base is massive. I at least know what the Naruto run is. I discovered that during the whole Storm Area 51 thing from a couple of years ago. Remember that? That feels like a lifetime ago, but it was a thing. So yeah, this guy's going to be releasing around about May next year. And if you're a Naruto fan, well, at least to my uneducated eye, looks like a pretty decent Naruto. Revoltech have revealed a couple of upcoming anime figures, two different animes that actually I do slightly know. I've seen the first season of One Punch Man, and now we're getting this Puri Puri Prisoner figure. And then also going over to Dandadan, which I'm actually straight up big fan of Dandadan. That was one of my favorite Netflix finds from last year. We're going to be getting the bright, pretty purple Dandadan Gigi transformed figure. So obviously these are only one picture of each to start with, but hey, there's going to be the full reveal coming soon. And when it does, you'll be hearing about it here. In some comic book news, I just wanted to talk about DCKO real quickly. So this is not spoilers, but if you haven't read it, it's spoilers. Like, you know, it's out now for the general masses, but if you don't want to see any DCKO stuff, you can always skip on to the next chapter. But what they're doing is so much fun. The KO storyline, basically a whole big tournament where all of DC's heavy hitters have to fight each other. But the twist is, we're going into the Warner Brothers IP playground. So portals are opening up and new characters are coming in and joining this crossover. We're getting Homelander from The Boys. We're getting Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat. All these different franchises that DC own are being incorporated into this story. Heck, we're even doing crossovers with AEW, although I don't think canonically any AEW wrestlers have entered this tournament. But I love the artwork that's coming out from it. And you could argue that, hey, this isn't like crazy imaginative, Dave. It's just DC mashing their toys together. But you know what? I love it. Maybe I'm a big kid, but when I saw the announcement of Homelander and Sub-Zero in this DC crossover story, I was like, yeah, this is a good timeline that we're in. Today's cosplay cover artist is Oichi Official. Go check her out on Instagram. There's some pretty amazing cosplay photo sets. She's putting in the work. God bless her. And folks, that does it for good news for today. What did you think about the items covered? Comment below and let me know. And if you like what you see here and you want to see more, then you know what you gotta do. You gotta join the 6-1 clicks by clicking the like, share, and subscribe buttons. And if you want to help support this channel, support me, then, well, actually, you can get something for your money by buying my action figures over at the Facebook group, like I said way back in the before times at the start of this video. Or if you just want to give me something for nothing, well, that would be wonderful. You could get yourself a channel membership, and then when I do the live streams, at least, I can spot you there with the little icon and the green name. I can be like, that dude, he's a real one. Although then again, even if you're not a channel member, you're also a real one. That's not something you buy. It's something you are. But I really appreciate the support. So gang, thank you so much for watching. And until next time, keep displaying model behavior.
Coffee. Big time.